So this is where we're going to be hunting today. This is actually a house next door to the house that we hunted in the last video, where we found the Barber and the Army-Navy token. So let's take a look at some maps. I'll show you a little bit of history about this, and we'll get digging. So here's our map, and you may have noticed by the sandstone foundation that the house is quite old. Now last week we hunted right here. In 1876 there was not a house. But the house that we're hunting with the yellow arrow today in 2019, you can see is right there at the intersection of these roads. You'll see that a road doesn't go this way now, but back in the day there was a road. Now that same star there, you can see the two stars, that's where we hunted last week. Now this is the house that we're at now, John Simon's, 1876. So this house was here in 1876 and prior. So that sets us back to a really nice old date to be able to find all kinds of stuff in this yard. Now last week when I was out here and I found that Barber and then that Civil War token, I actually gave it to the landowners. You know, I find, you know, all kinds of cool stuff all the time, where landowners, if they don't metal detect, they may have never seen this stuff, and it's very, very interesting to them. So I gave it to them, and now I have permission to hunt in this yard here as well. And so it I've got two permissions here just by doing one good kind act. So in building that line of trust, which is the most important thing when you're out here trying to get permissions. So let's get the machine set up and get hunting. So let's go ahead and pick up program. I like the field programs for some reason, but I'm gonna go field 1 to concentrate on high tones. Let's go ahead and check our sensitivity, see where that's at. Looks like we're at 22, 23. Was a little noise when we were at 22, so now we're at 21. That sounds pretty good. Now I'm gonna noise cancel. And ground balance. We're gonna run in 5-tone. I'm rejecting from -9 to 3 and 39 and 40. Recovery speed, we're gonna leave at 5. If it's really trashy, we'll bring it up. If it's not trashy, we're gonna bring it down. The lower your recovery speed and the slower your sweep, the deeper a machine will go. Hold down settings to get to underline. For iron bias, we're gonna leave it at 0. That's it, let's get going. We're gonna go work along the top of this bank right here that runs down about right here and just work this area and spend some time here and see what we can find. Looks like we got a 19 or 20 there. Let's see what that is. Doesn't look like it's in the hole anymore. Still a 1920. Might be an Indian, let's just see. Looks like it's right up here on top. I think I see it here. Here it is. First dig of the day, we got a coin. We don't know what it is yet though. Oh, it is an Indian. How awesome, start the day with an Indian. Well, it's looking good. Let me rub on it a little bit. Here's our first find of the day. It's a 1901 Indian with a lot of good detail still on it. And the back of it, it looks like it just needs cleaned up a little bit more, but we'll get that cleaned up at the house. So yeah, look at that. 1901, first dig. Let's keep going. Here's our next target. It was 14, 13 or so. Doesn't look like it's in the hole. It's up here now. Huh. That's different. It hit pretty low, so I don't know if this is what that is. I guess it might be just a washer. Yeah, I don't see any writing on it. It looks just like a washer. So here we go. On to the next. Here's our next one. We got another mid-tone. It's a little bit more solid on a 16. So we have something right here. It's a pull tab. So yeah, that's not all that great of a find, but we'll keep going. Here's our next target. We're right on that 20, 4 bars deep or so. Just check the hole. Still in there. I see it already. And I hit it with my digging shovel because I've been trying to dig smaller holes here. So yeah, there, I hit it. Looks to be an Indian, so let me clean it off. So here's our find. Exactly 1900 Indian head scent. Looks like it was in pretty good shape. So we'll keep moving on to the next, and I will start digging my holes I'm used to digging. Got one here, 16, 17. Well, it's a different style of tab. A little older one, so we'll keep looking. Here is our next target. It's right there, but I gotta tell you something real quick. So as I was setting up my camera to do this dig right here, a gentleman stopped in the truck and asked me what I was doing, metal detecting. And he actually owns 2 houses down here that show up on my old Atlas, the 1876 one. I have a larger copy in the truck than the one I showed you all. and he just gave me full permission to metal detect both places. So this little area right here is turning out to be pretty awesome. So let's dig this up. I already know what this is. We found these in other videos, and it may say it, but yeah, a golden circle parking validation token. So find these things all over the place. All right, we have a target here. Sometimes we see some 28s and some high ones. And then we also see some 20s. Now we're in multi right now, so let's change it to 5, which will be more responsive to silver. And I'm just gonna hit this button right here. It looks like a heartbeat symbol. And we turned it to 5. Now let's see how it reacts. Now I know I didn't ground balance, but let's just see. It's reading about the same. So that may be the one that's hitting on it the best. Change it to 10. Barely hitting. 15. Somewhat better. 20. Reading lower. And 40. Definitely not the one that's picking this one up. So I'm going to guess that this is a target that is a high conductor, because these higher kilohertz, 40 kilohertz is for low conductors. Let's go see what it is. And there it is. Whatever it may be. That looks like another Indian. Yeah, it is. Let me clean it. So we knew that the 5, 10, and the 15 were the frequencies that were hitting this the best. And we have a, looks like a 1908 Indian head sent. So that's a pretty cool little find there. It is maybe 8 inches or so deep. Nice Indian head. Let's keep moving. It's pretty jumpy. And the pinpoint starts about here and it ends about there. So it's like 4 inches. Could be about anything. Let's just take a look at it. So we're down at the hole. Got the pinpointer out. Whatever it is right there. I think this is our find right here. It's got some white patina to it, so it might be lead. It's pretty heavy, so I believe that's what that is. All right, we've been up in that yard for a little bit. I'm starting to get into a lot of aluminum siding pieces. They must have had their table set up there when they were cutting and snipping little pieces off. But we have a target right here beside the sidewalk. This is a newer sidewalk. It's concrete, so it's probably from maybe the 60s, plus or minus. Look, here it is. You might be able to see that. 27, 28, 29. Still there. It's right about here. Getting closer to the sidewalk. Check again. Oh, there it is right there. I believe that's it. We almost got a silver quarter. It's a 1965. So it seems like it's in decent shape. It's not as corroded as these modern ones you get, but still, it's a quarter. Looks like a 13 or a 12. Right about there. Oh, I think that got one of the targets. There may be 2 down in there. I don't see anything yet. They went something. What is that? There's a little better look at it. It's definitely old, got some age to it. Not sure, so let's just keep on looking. There's a 13 right there. Still in the hole, and it's at least 5 inches or deeper. Whatever it is, it's in here. This is my first nickel with the Equinox. It is a 1960, I believe. So yeah, all right, first nickel ever with the Equinox. Let's end the day on this one. I just haven't had a lot of good signals. This is my last high one, but right there we have a 29 that's 3 bars deep. It's not all that old. It's a 1991. Well, I'm done for the day. The aluminum won. There's so much aluminum siding in that yard and pull tabs and junk. That's what I've been mainly digging today. So I'm just gonna hang it up and we'll go out on the 4th of July somewhere and metal detect. And we're gonna close out this video here at the house. At the end of my hunt that day, I tried to make some closing statements and stuff, and it just wasn't working out. It seemed like everybody and their brother was out on their motorcycle, and for some reason everybody thinks that they only have one gear. So it was very loud. And so we'll go over a few things. The hunt today was good. I found some Indians, clad, and just a lot of trash. I had high hopes for this site when I went out there because from what I knew from the landowner, it had never been hunted before. And it's just the way it goes. It seems like the ones when I'm like all pumped up, ready to go, and nobody's ever been there before, and I'm just excited, there's all kinds of stuff in the yard, I never find much. It's just part of the hunt, I guess. This is the 6-inch Equinox coil. My wife said go ahead and get one. I didn't give her much time to rethink that, so here it is. And we'll be getting that out to compare the MX Sport and the Equinox together, because the MX Sport, I have the 7-inch DTAC coil. That's the only two comparable coils that I have for those two machines, since I don't own the 10-inch DD coil for the Sport. Now, this book, the Minelab Performance is Everything Equinox Series Handbook, but my comments are ordered and newest. So the very first person that comments is all the way at the bottom. And then the last comment that had been made is all the way at the top because it's the newest. Now, the very first one was the first person to see the video and make a comment. So that would be first down at the bottom. But the first person that says they want to borrow this book, I'll mail it to them. Now, here's the deal. Once you get this book, I want you to give it to somebody else in this community on this channel. Let them borrow it as well from you. If you ship USPS media mail, it's like $3 to $5 anywhere in the United States. It's slower than Christmas, but it'll make it there cheap. Pass it around, get it to everybody that wants to borrow it, do whatever you want, method that you need to do in order to get the information you need from it, but learn from it, better your hunt. There's some good information in here, and I want everybody that wants to borrow it, use it. That's all I have. I'll hopefully be out hunting on July 4th. Got a brand new site we just got today. We might go try those out, fairly small spots. So we'll just hunt it hard. But it's getting to be really hot in the summer, and the ground's getting really dry. And it's getting to the point where I have to go to the woods to hunt. Otherwise, we're going to be killing the grass in people's yards, and I don't want to do that. So we'll have to see how things go and how many sites I can come up with. Thank you very much for joining me for this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, take care.